Ectomorph body type. The ectomorph body type is characterized by a naturally narrow skeletal frame, longer limb proportions, smaller joint circumference, and a metabolism that tends to prioritize energy turnover rather than storage. One hidden advantage of this structure is thermoregulation efficiency. Individuals with slender builds dissipate heat more effectively through a higher surface area to mass ratio, which supports endurance performance in warm climates and long-duration activity. This makes ectomorphic bodies especially suited for distance running, cycling, and mobility-based movement patterns that depend on sustained oxygen delivery rather than explosive power. Another advantage involves insulin sensitivity. Ectomorphic individuals frequently display improved glucose uptake efficiency in skeletal muscle relative to adipose storage, which supports stable energy availability during prolonged activity cycles. This metabolic pattern historically favored survival in migration-heavy environments where continuous movement mattered more than energy storage. Biomechanically, lighter limb mass reduces rotational inertia, allowing faster limb acceleration during locomotion. This enhances agility and coordination efficiency, particularly in activities requiring rapid directional change or repetitive stride cycles. Because less body mass loads the joints during movement, ectomorphic frames also experience reduced compressive stress on knees and hips over time. There is also a respiratory advantage. Narrower torsos often correlate with efficient ribcage expansion mechanics during rhythmic breathing patterns, supporting oxygen exchange during endurance movement. Over evolutionary time, this body pattern aligned with persistence-style locomotion strategies that allowed humans to track prey across long distances while conserving energy through efficient stride mechanics. Mesomorph body type. The mesomorph body type reflects a naturally balanced skeletal structure with broader shoulders, moderate limb length, and a muscular distribution that supports efficient force production. One major hidden advantage is neuromuscular responsiveness. Mesomorphic individuals often demonstrate higher baseline motor unit recruitment efficiency, allowing faster strength adaptation when exposed to resistance or physical training. This responsiveness improves not only strength development, but also injury resilience. Muscle tissue surrounding joints acts as a stabilizing system that distributes force across movement chains, rather than concentrating stress at single structural points. Over time, this helps protect ligaments and connective tissues during dynamic activity. Mesomorphic proportions also support favorable leverage relationships. The shoulder-to-waist ratio improves upper body torque potential, while balanced femur to torso length contributes to efficient squat and lifting mechanics. These leverage advantages increase mechanical output without requiring excessive energy expenditure. Hormonal response patterns represent another hidden strength. Mesomorphic individuals frequently exhibit efficient anabolic signaling during physical exertion, supporting muscle repair and structural adaptation. This allowed ancestral populations with mesomorphic builds to excel in activities requiring lifting, carrying, climbing, and coordinated group hunting strategies. Even cardiovascular adaptation benefits from this structure. Moderate muscle mass improves venous return through muscular contraction cycles that assist circulation, supporting sustained physical output during both strength-based and endurance-mixed activity environments. Endomorph body type. The endomorph body type includes wider skeletal dimensions, greater natural fat storage capacity, and a metabolism optimized for long-term energy conservation. One major hidden advantage of this structure is survival buffering. Stored adipose tissue functions as a biological energy reserve that historically protected individuals during periods of famine, migration stress, or seasonal food scarcity. Adipose tissue also contributes to endocrine regulation. Fat cells participate in hormone signaling pathways involving leptin, estrogen metabolism, and immune response coordination. These signals help regulate appetite timing, reproductive stability, and inflammatory balance during environmental stress exposure. Thermal insulation represents another important advantage. Higher subcutaneous fat layers reduce heat loss in colder environments, allowing energy conservation during winter conditions or nighttime temperature drops. This insulation benefit historically improved survival in temperate and subarctic climates where maintaining body temperature required metabolic efficiency. Structurally, wider pelvic alignment and stronger load-bearing joints improve stability during lifting, carrying, and weight-supported movements. Endomorphic frames distribute compressive forces across larger joint surfaces, reducing structural strain during tasks involving sustained load transport. Another overlooked advantage involves endurance under calorie restriction. Because stored energy reserves can be mobilized gradually, endomorphic individuals often maintain functional performance longer during extended nutritional gaps than leaner body types, reflecting an evolutionary adaptation to unpredictable food availability cycles. Ectomesomorph hybrid body type. The ectomesomorph hybrid body type combines the linear efficiency of ectomorphic frames with the muscular responsiveness of mesomorphic structure. One hidden advantage of this combination is movement versatility. Individuals with this pattern can transition between endurance-based and strength-based activity demands without the metabolic trade-offs typically associated with specialization. This versatility improves adaptability in unpredictable environments. Historically, hybrid builds supported both travel efficiency and intermittent bursts of force production required during hunting, climbing, or defensive response situations. Because limb mass remains relatively moderate, energy cost during locomotion stays low while still allowing meaningful strength output. Another advantage appears in recovery efficiency. Balanced muscle distribution supports circulation through rhythmic contraction cycles, improving nutrient delivery and waste removal following physical exertion. This helps maintain consistent performance across repeated activity sessions. Joint loading patterns also benefit from hybrid proportions. Moderate muscle mass stabilizes joints without creating excessive compressive forces, supporting longevity in repetitive movement environments such as walking long distances or performing coordinated manual tasks. Metabolically, hybrid body types often demonstrate flexible fuel usage, shifting between carbohydrate-based and fat-based energy pathways depending on activity intensity. This metabolic flexibility historically supported survival in environments where both endurance travel and sudden high-intensity effort were necessary. Meso-endomorph hybrid body type. The meso-endomorph hybrid body type combines muscular responsiveness with enhanced energy storage capacity. One hidden advantage of this structure is sustained strength endurance. Because muscle tissue is supported by accessible internal energy reserves, individuals with this build can maintain force output over longer activity periods without rapid fatigue onset. This body pattern historically supported load transport roles within cooperative groups. Carrying supplies, tools, or gathered resources required both strength and metabolic buffering capacity, making hybrid builds particularly valuable in collective survival systems. Another advantage involves skeletal reinforcement. Wider bone structure paired with muscular distribution increases resistance to repetitive stress injury during heavy movement tasks. This improves functional durability across extended working environments involving lifting, climbing, or terrain navigation. Hormonal stability represents an additional benefit. Moderate adipose storage supports endocrine regulation during nutritional variation, while muscle mass improves insulin-mediated glucose transport into tissues. Together, these features create a balanced metabolic environment that supports consistent performance across fluctuating conditions. This hybrid structure also improves momentum generation during movement. Increased body mass enhances force transfer during pushing, pulling, and carrying tasks, allowing efficient interaction with external objects in ways that lighter frames cannot easily replicate. Pear-shaped body distribution. Pear-shaped body distribution reflects fat storage patterns concentrated around the hips and thighs rather than the abdominal region. One hidden advantage of this distribution involves cardiovascular protection. Lower body fat storage is associated with improved lipid regulation compared with central fat accumulation patterns, supporting long-term metabolic stability. This storage pattern also supports reproductive resilience. Hip region adipose tissue contains fatty acid reserves linked to neurological development during pregnancy and early childhood nourishment, reflecting evolutionary selection pressures supporting offspring survival. Biomechanically, lower body mass concentration improves stability during locomotion. A lower center of gravity enhances balance during walking, climbing uneven terrain, and carrying weight. This stability advantage historically improved movement safety in natural landscapes without structured pathways. Muscle fat interaction within the thigh region also contributes to shock absorption during stride cycles. This reduces repetitive stress on the spine and knees, supporting long-distance mobility across variable terrain conditions. Another advantage involves temperature regulation. Lower body fat storage helps conserve warmth without interfering with respiratory expansion in the upper torso, allowing efficient breathing mechanics during physical activity in cooler climates. Apple-shaped body distribution. Apple-shaped body distribution involves greater fat storage around the torso and upper abdominal region. One hidden advantage of this structure relates to rapid energy mobilization. Central adipose reserves are metabolically active and accessible during high-intensity energy demands, allowing faster fuel availability when sudden movement effort becomes necessary. Upper torso mass concentration also improves leverage potential during pushing and pulling actions. Because the body's center of mass remains closer to the spine's vertical axis, mechanical stability increases during force transfer tasks involving the arms and shoulders. Another advantage involves protective organ buffering. Central fat layers provide insulation around internal organs, helping stabilize temperature fluctuations affecting metabolic organs such as the liver and kidneys during environmental stress exposure. This distribution pattern historically supported survival during intermittent effort cycles that alternated between inactivity and sudden exertion. Accessible energy reserves allowed individuals to respond quickly to threats or opportunities without relying exclusively on immediate food intake. Additionally, apple-shaped distributions often correlate with strong ribcage expansion mechanics, supporting breathing stability during upper body dominant movement tasks such as climbing or tool use. Rectangular body distribution. Rectangular body distribution features relatively even shoulder to hip alignment with minimal waist narrowing. One hidden advantage of this structure involves symmetrical load transfer across the torso. Balanced proportions reduce rotational strain during twisting movements, improving spinal stability over time. This symmetry supports efficient posture maintenance during prolonged standing or walking. Because weight distribution remains centered along the body's vertical axis, muscular compensation patterns are reduced, conserving energy during extended upright activity. Another advantage appears in movement predictability. Balanced proportions allow coordinated limb movement without asymmetrical leverage effects, improving efficiency during repetitive occupational tasks requiring consistent motion cycles. Rectangular structures also support flexible adaptation to both endurance-based and moderate strength-based movement environments. Because no single structural dimension dominates force production or energy conservation, individuals with this distribution can transition smoothly between activity types without excessive specialization trade-offs. Historically, symmetrical builds supported cooperative mobility roles within migrating groups where steady pacing and coordinated travel mattered more than extreme strength or extreme endurance specialization, making balanced proportions a reliable survival advantage across diverse terrain conditions. Keep learning, keep embracing what makes you unique. Subscribe and explore the science that makes you extraordinary.